Welcome, everyone, to another Jeff Herring webinar. This is Jeff, your host, and thank you for bearing with some of the technical hassles we were dealing with as we were getting started. Now, welcome backstage, welcome behind the scenes. If you're listening to any of that a moment ago, you were really behind the scenes. And we are going to do something different. I am on with my co-host, friend, and colleague, Niall Nickel. Niall, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
There you go. And we are going to have a conversation about this course and this training and this resource that we're creating about LinkedIn and content sharing and about the power of LinkedIn and LinkedIn groups and just a lot of things LinkedIn. And then we're going to build in the rest of your social marketing, because Niall is like a ninja, incredible expert, insider, has taught people at LinkedIn stuff about LinkedIn kind of person. And so we have been talking about doing a course for how long now?
Gosh, we probably started talking about doing something like this as long ago as a year ago, but then we really decided we were going to do it in December, and here it is, almost March.
And then just recently, as a couple hours ago, we kind of came back around to the original conversation as we were talking about some stuff for tonight. So this is going to be cool, folks. This is going to be very different in that what you're hearing right now, Niall and I having a conversation, is what we're going to do as we go through the proposed outline of this course, including some changes that take effect tomorrow. And so you're getting this even before the changes come in. And so we're going to look at a couple things that have just come out recently. We're going to look at the outline of the course, discuss it. And you're even going to get a backstage pass to if it looks like we're going to do this, based on y'all's feedback, even when Niall and I are going to schedule doing this. So welcome aboard, fasten your seatbelts. One of the things that Niall and I have in common, and we quickly hit it off on when his lovely yet beautiful wife, Rosemary, introduced us, is we both have, I don't know what you would call it, an interesting or a challenged or a twisted and warped sense of humor.
I'd go with warped, and I wouldn't even advance it to sophomoric. I'd say it's more freshman-based.
That's really true. And so, hopefully that'll show up every now and then here. It can't help but do when we look at some of the content sharing stuff. And we welcome your questions in the Q&A as we see lots and lots of people coming on board. And obviously there's a challenge with GoToWebinar tonight because I can see the numbers, but I can't see the names of people. So just really quickly, as we're getting going here, just to know us know we're out there. If you're out there, we're out there, obviously, because we're here. You know I'm broadcasting live from about 40 miles north of Atlanta. Niall, where are you coming in from?
I am in lovely Largo, Florida, which is not Key Largo. Go down there quite often, but it's in the Tampa Bay area of Florida.
Central Florida, love it. Grew up in Winter Park. All right, so now that we've modeled that for you. All right, so Lori's already jumping on board here. She's here from Connecticut. Ron is here. Where are you from, Ron? I've got such a great community now. They already know what to do. So appreciate you guys. Denton, Texas is Ron. Carol from Lexington. The other Ron is from New Jersey. From Annapolis is James. Dorothy, hey. She lives where I used to live in Overland Park, Kansas. Mike from Texas, Lynn from Toronto. Awesome. So we are getting rolling here, and I'm glad. So let's dive in here. Niall, the next slide is that announcement about what LinkedIn is doing tomorrow. You want to save that for later and go to the outline, or what do you think?
Yeah, I do, okay. Because in fact we'll bounce through some slides that I'm going to share as well, because there's already a change to what LinkedIn was going to announce tomorrow.
Oh, cool. See, I love it. And there's Wall taking us international from New Zealand. Thank you, sir. All right, so what we're doing is we're putting together a 4-module training about all this stuff. And before we go through this part, now why don't you let them know what the training is going to be about?
Well, what we've talked about for, as we said, almost a year now, and I don't even know how many conversations we've had about it. Obviously, you've got all these wonderful, powerful templates for content sharing, creating content. I know the value and the uniqueness of sharing content on social media. Now, while I focus on LinkedIn because LinkedIn is more of a business platform than any other, that's not saying there isn't plenty of business to be had on all the other social media platforms like Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, your own blog. But you share things differently. And as we started talking about this, I'm saying, Jeff, listen, you've got this wonderful, great content creation template strategy. We really need a new set of templates for social media content sharing, and things are different in the social media world. That's where we started.
Yeah, and so, it's combining the content creation that I teach and the content marketing that I teach with the social media stuff that Niall knows. And so welcome aboard, folks. Now, in everything that we do, we talk about where to get started. And so we're going to talk about the incredible value of content sharing. And that means two things. And now I want you to jump in here. That means sharing your own content. And it also means sharing other content, right now? And that's something I'm kind of new to the table with.
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, in the social media world, the absolute positive worst thing that you could do is share all of your own content all the time. It's a death nail. Now, when you're talking about content creation and content creation being king, you're absolutely right. But when it comes to social media, people get bored with that and they no longer pay attention to you and you become irrelevant. So this is where we started having this dynamic conversation.
Which we should have recorded before now. And so the other piece of it is going to be just the really powerful nature of LinkedIn and what it can do. And let me put it to you this way. Niall has done the same thing with LinkedIn that I did in the past with Easing Articles, just knowing it better than the CEO and leveraging it in a way that they'd never thought of. And so that's part of what we want to bring you in on both tonight and as we did a couple of weeks ago with Why Your LinkedIn Profile Sucks and What to Do About It, which right there is a great content sharing title to pull people in. Now, when you talk about the insane value of sharing content on LinkedIn, what do you mean?
Well, LinkedIn is different than every other one of the social media platforms. What LinkedIn gives you that none of the other platforms give you is it gives you the ability to share the content all over the internet when it's just shared on LinkedIn. I mean, if you share on Facebook, chances are you're not going to appear on the internet. If you share on Twitter, chances are you're not going to appear all over the internet. When you post on LinkedIn, chances are very good, especially if you have it set up right, that you're going to appear all over the internet. Unique and different from every one of the other social media platforms.
See, that's super powerful, and I didn't even know that. And so the next question is, how come? How does that work?
Well, LinkedIn is treated differently than a lot of the other social media websites. LinkedIn is all about a couple of things. You creating your personal profile page, you creating a company page, and groups that you have on LinkedIn. And it's about a professional level of sharing. So LinkedIn has come to the social media table with a higher level of clout. And I hate to use that term because there's now a social network called Klout that we'll talk about tonight just a bit as well. But it comes just with a higher level of authority and respect by all of the search engines. And because it does, all of the search engines now search all of that information. And because when you do posts, they appear in your profile, they appear attached to your profile or your company page or your group discussions, they get automatically spidered, and they get quickly spidered, meaning the search engines look at them, they look at the content that's there, and they rank that content very, very quickly. So if you happen to do certain things in what you share, happens to go with your content creation templates, like you've got the right keywords in there, you happen to be talking about trending topics, critically important, then all of a sudden you get an insane amount of value all over the internet, not just on LinkedIn.
See, I didn't even know that. I love that. Now, you added this to the outline, the power of synergy. So what's up, dude?
Well, the power of synergy there comes into play when you're doing the content sharing and the templates that you've mastered and that you have developed, and the value that you get by sharing it on LinkedIn and social media. As a matter of fact, while I said you don't necessarily get picked up when you share on Facebook or Twitter or some of the other sites, some sites you do, but when you have a common share, if you will, that you share across all of the sites, you get the power of the synergy of that share. You're no longer just sharing in one place with your name attached to it. You're sharing in multiple places, you're appearing in multiple places, and lo and behold, not only are you getting that recognition, but the post that you were trying to share is getting that recognition.
I like that. Now, speaking of posts and shares and all that kind of stuff, would this be a good time to show them some examples, some of the slides you have, or some of the examples from Facebook of mine?
Yeah, we were talking sometime last week or over the weekend, I'm not even sure which, we talked about one article, and you jumped on it and you went insane with it. You want to share that one?
Yeah, let me see if I can go find it.
There's some people complaining of audio too. I don't know what we could do about it, because it looks like
I just see one saying stand no audio here, and everybody else is saying we're fine. So,
okay.
Of course, I could tell Stan what to do, but you have no audio. So Tracy, if you can play with him and see what you can help him out, that'd be cool. All right, so where is that little booger, the one we talked about? Here it is. Okay, so everybody see that okay? My screen is right now? Okay.
There you go.
What happened is that, okay, audio's fine, good. What happened is Niall was telling me about this particular place where you could find interesting news, and I found this article that he told me about. Smartest kid ever sell. This is brilliant. I mean, what a brilliant marketer. Smartest kid ever sells Girl Scout cookies outside a medical marijuana clinic. Okay. Now, my first thought, besides thinking I want to hire her, is, with what I do, talk about getting in front of the traffic. So here I put my second and third rule of traffic building talks about find out where the traffic is going and get in front of it. So if this 13-year-old girl can figure it out, how about you? And so Niall was telling me that this is like exactly what he was talking about doing, right?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So do you want to talk about some of those things and talk about where we'll give them some tips right now where they could find some of this and maybe the way to use some of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Okay, well, go ahead and give me the screen, or we could have you do it on your screen. You want to do it?
I will turn it over to you because this is your area.
Okay, well, we'll play through changing the screen here, and when we do that,
everything else that's been going on, God help us, but okay.
Okay, so I've been made the presenter. My screen's up. This isn't what we're going to show you just yet. This is sort of a whizzy-dizzy tool. But here's the tool. Now, this is off of a Reddit site, but it's called Not the Onion. Now, I don't know how many of you know about the Onion, but the Onion is a complete parody site. There's absolutely nothing serious on the Onion at all. However, as this says, it's not the Onion. But what they do is they have the weirdest, strangest sites that you'll find anywhere, and they're real stories. And they do a couple of things here that are fascinating. Not only do they collect all these weird stories, you could actually submit the weird stories, but then they track how they are ranking anywhere on the internet. So this one here, New York Police Department, if I could talk, New York Police Department's Chief Internal Investigator called whistleblower a rat lawsuit. Now, this is going crazy. It's been picked up better than 958 times all over the net, which means people are sharing this. They're talking about it like crazy. So if you know that there's an article that is getting picked up like this, whatever the reason is, and we could always click on the article. In fact, we'll click on it real quick. He's calling him a rat. Can you believe that? But you get the article, you see all the details there, and as we are talking about sharing the article, what we're talking about trying to do, the way you get traction with this article is trending, which means people are interested in it. So if you're able to put some particular twist on it, or you ask a particular question related to it, and you make it short and sweet. And I'll show you an example a little bit later of one that I just did. But what's going to happen is this is going to be picked up by a lot of people. It's trending, so it has already the search engines going crazy about it. So you're able to capitalize on all of those trends, all of that momentum, and it's entertaining and engaging. Now, we haven't talked about this yet, but when you're doing social media posts, in fact, hey, Jeff, here's an update.
Yeah, I just saw that, yeah. Yeah, now Colorado says they can't do it.
Yeah. Not to sell cookies outside pot shops. It's probably sales are going too good. But whenever you're able to pick up some of these things, and you're going to entertain people. When you're doing your shares, one of the things that you want to do is you want to entertain and engage, and you'd really like to do both, entertain and engage the people that are following you on social media. Why? Because you want them to share. So now not only are you sharing to your network of people that you're connected to on social media, but they find this so humorous and entertaining and engaging, they share it. Now, when you're on, we'll talk about Facebook for just a minute, because Facebook has more interactivity generally than LinkedIn does. So when you're on Facebook and you do a share and somebody comments on it, because now you're trying to engage them too, when they comment on it, it gets shared on their page. So it gets shared to their network. And to the extent that somebody in their network sees it and they comment on it, lo and behold, you're getting the share from that. So what you're doing is you're expanding your reach. And when you do this, like you do with every other piece of content, you do it regularly, and it's part of the shares that you do. You share your own content, you share curated content, somebody else's content, and you share entertaining stories that you can engage people with. So how might we engage people just right off the top of our head with this Colorado Girl Scouts sold not to sell cookies outside pot shops? One of the things that you could ask is, it's Girl Scout cookies, what's your favorite cookie? Yeah, literally, you just want some simple, short way to engage people, and it's amazing. And if you look on any of the social media sites that are very engaging, that have a high level of interactivity, you'll notice that the sites that get the greatest amount of engagement, meaning people commenting, discussing it, talking about it, are the smallest, simplest, and forgive me, stupidest posts that you could ever have. But when you start to appear in those feeds and you share your real content as well, and they're going to look because you share this other good stuff as well, then they start to pick up and follow you and recognize you for what you want to be recognized for. So you're picking up and trending on all this stuff.
Yeah, and I liken it to that saying about, do you need to use humor when you give a public presentation? And the answer is only if you want to get paid, and so it's the same kind of thing. Humor brings people in. Go back a second. Go back a second.
I had to read the story. I was ready.
I know, right? Well, that one, I could tie it to, don't depend on one source of traffic. Somebody could shut it down.
Yeah, just got shut down.
Walls protect the USA from tornadoes. I could do a little thing, for my friend Regina Smola, who's the WordPress security expert. Where's there another one? Miley Cyrus would rather choke on my own tongue than play Tinkerbell. Well, one could hope. And so you can tie it to what you do. You can just do it for fun. And fun brings people into the rest of your world. Now, how can people find this particular site?
It's right here. If they type in just "not the onion" or "not the onion," they'll find it. Here's the URL for that. And by the way, I recommend that they take this. Everybody that's on this call, and if we had 1,000 times more, we wouldn't scratch the surface, and it wouldn't be enough for people to really take this strategy out of our bag, and it be a very powerful strategy. And again, there's some weird stories there. But going back up to the top.
I want to send this one. I'm pointing to the screen like y'all can see me, but this one about Mawali Rowe over whether new law bans farting. I want to put that up and say, hey, Joel Comm, what do you think, buddy? Because he did the app, of the iFart.
But again, it's there's strange and bizarre stuff, but anything that gets people to engage. And you get, I'm going to click on a couple of things here. Here's all the hot stories. So look, just while we started talking about this earlier, I think it was 963 or something like that. It's 1,019 already. This is how quickly that's trending. So you look at those numbers and you try to determine what you want to use because of the way it's trending. So what are the new ones? What are the ones that may not have picked up trending yet, but are likely to? Teenage girl takes selfie with a bald eagle, wins most patriotic American of the year. Okay. Celebrity endorsement? I don't know. What's rising? Doesn't seem to be anything. What's controversial? I can't imagine there'd be anything.
Oh, Lord.
On controversial. Obviously some of these, none of us are going to put in.
Wait a minute. Suspicious farmer busts alleged cow porn ring? Oh, dear God in heaven. I actually covered that on my radio show last night, but we'll leave that one alone too. It's got something to do with Chick-fil-A, right?
Well, I put Chick-fil-A in there. I did. But you knew that was going. So, and then here's the top ones and all of that. So just one site for you to consider using. Now, you want me to go on and give another tip on this?
Well, let's turn that over to our audience. You guys want another tip about this stuff? Yay or nay in the Q&A, you know where.
I don't see the Q&A now, so that must be when the screen is shared, you don't see it. So
maybe so, but I'm getting lots and lots of yeses, so preach on, buddy.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about Klout. Now, you and I were talking about Klout early on in here. So let me cancel this one. I don't want to do this. What Klout is Klout is a site that determines how you rank on social media compared to the rest of the world. Now, I guarantee you, if I look at my measurements, this is something you could look at, it will have went down because I have not done much social media work the last few days at all. But by the time you start to get a Klout score much above 60, it says that you're doing well on social media. Obviously, if you're into the 70s, you're doing extremely well. In 80s and 90s, you're off the charts. But it ranks your post, great. I don't care about any of that, and I don't think you will probably either. And what is your score, and what's somebody else's score? Who cares? But if you look at Create, what it does is it tracks, and you could put in whatever topics that you want to put in. And obviously I've got LinkedIn, management, business, comedy. Why? Because these are things that I talk about. Facebook, it's another social media thing. So something happening in Florida, sports. And if I decide that I want to edit these and get rid of certain ones, like I don't want sports in the feed, I could get rid of that. But what these are is these are the topics that are trending right now all over social media. So what you don't have to do now is you don't have to try to figure out what's trending all over social media. Klout is tracking everything all over the social media platforms. They're determining what's tracking for you based on the categories that you want to find content for. And so you're able to scroll through and say, you know, what do I think? What do I think that I want to share? Now I'm in Florida, and I've read some of this junk science thing. I think it's great, so I might want to share this, and I might want to do some sort of spin on it. But if I know that I'm going to be tied up for a few days, and I want trending topics, I mean, obviously I could cut and paste this into Hootsuite and do it that way. Excuse me. But I could also find out what's trending here and say, I don't want to share this right now. I want to share it later. And it has the scheduling in here. So if I know that maybe this is going to be a busy weekend for me, I could say, hey, I want to schedule it later, and it's going to give me suggested times when my audience is most active. It's analyzed my audience, said this is when your audience is most active on that day. Now, by the way, watch this. I'm going to switch days.
That's kind of good and scary at the same time. Jeez.
Yeah, you'll notice that the times are changing.
Yeah.
So, so it lets you do that. Now, by the way, you could say, no, I don't want any of those times. I want to post my own specific time and set it. And then it will allow you where you want to post out to. I've got it set up to post to Facebook and Twitter. But on the other hand, you could set it up to share to different feeds as well.
See, that explains some stuff to me, because I follow your Facebook page because you have such funny stuff on there, and check it out every now and then. And I see stuff and I go, how did he, where, what? Oh, okay,
yeah.
Now I see.
Yeah, sometimes I'm not around and I couldn't do this.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I'm doing is I'm looking for topics that are trending. I'm looking for topics that I know people are going to be engaged with in my feed, and I pick them to share. And again, I'm just trying to maintain a regular dialogue, and this is pure entertainment, because if you notice, when I go to share this, hey, there's some things that I could put in here, you know, about this, but you know, there's not a whole lot that I'm going to put in there. And I'm going to make sure.
Here's a good question now from Carol. Does it do the same time thing for ranked beginners? People who just get onto Klout and have low or no score. Now, I don't think it matters whether you smell or not, Carol, but if you're a beginner, what does it work the same for beginners now?
Yeah, it does. What they do, and this is scary and amazing at the same time, is they know more about you than you know about you. So even if you're brand new, you've never done much of this at all, and you've got a low Klout score, meaning that you are not heavily engaged with people, that doesn't mean that they don't know what your audience is about and when your audience is most active, the people that you have that do follow you, when are they active? Wow. And like I said, it's scary good. And it's scary how much information they have. And I could talk to you about the technical details of that. I look at some of the back ends of some of these sites because of some of the people I'm associated with, and it really shocks you when you start looking at what they know about us. But anyway, good question.
Okay, cool. So can we switch that back over to me, the presenter?
Okay.
And let's go back to the outline, because, you know, what I'm liking about this, and I see the Q&A lighting up with people, the same thing. I'm learning stuff as we go here, so this is cool. And there's your LinkedIn brain. I love it. All right, so off of there and onto here. Okay, so let's go to talking about module 2. We're going to talk about creating click magnets. Now, you just shared some of that, right?
Yeah. Did you take the screen back?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Are you guys seeing the module 2 stuff?
I've got it. Go ahead.
Let me look at all these.
My screen stayed up for some reason.
Okay. So standard content share template in your world is what? You ask a question and then you show the article?
Yeah, the standard content share template would literally be a simple share. Remember, we want to entertain and engage, or if we're providing information, we'd like to engage. So the standard content share template that you and I have talked about is where we're going to get the attention-grabbing headline. We're going to look for the way that we try to engage the audience with whatever the headline is, whether it's our content, whether it's curated content, or whether it's just completely entertaining content. And then we're going to try to put the hook question in there to get people to engage with it.
Love it. Love it. Okay. And so part of what we're going to offer these people is combining your knowledge, your social media, specifically LinkedIn knowledge, with my template knowledge. And we're going to come up with templates for social media sharing, LinkedIn sharing, Facebook sharing, et cetera, right?
Right, because as we've talked about, obviously if we're doing share on our blog, we're going to share differently than we are in LinkedIn for a lot of reasons. We're going to talk about why these sites are different and how you engage differently on these sites, how you engage on Twitter versus how you engage on Facebook versus how you engage on Pinterest. It's different. However, one of the things you don't want to do is when you find a good piece of valuable content, whether it's yours, somebody else's, or it's just pure entertaining, you really want to share it across all these platforms, but you need a template to do that, and you don't want to spend, you don't want to spend 10 minutes doing it. You want to spend 2 minutes and have it done.
Right. So we're talking about templates for each of those because it's a different way of delivering it?
Correct. Same content,
okay, cool.
just slightly different twist.
I love it. I love it. Now, here's something that I think a lot of people are interested in because I think I'm one of many that have knowledge of the existence of LinkedIn groups, but are not leveraging them well at all. So that's something that we're going to talk about. We're going to teach, and it's something you're pretty big on, right?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why in just simple terms. I know that we don't have time to get great detail on all this, but when we talk about LinkedIn groups, with groups, you could join one LinkedIn group that could have a couple 100,000 members. And now with being a member of that group, you have the ability to share your content with a couple 100,000 people. If you share it on LinkedIn in any of your own feeds, if you have maxed out the number of connections that LinkedIn allows, you've only got 30,000. So getting involved in LinkedIn groups just gives you just tremendous leverage that you wouldn't get anywhere else.
Wow. And then the other side of that is creating your own, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you want your own. You also want to find groups where your key ideal profile or clients hang out, and then you also want to share groups, where your peers hang out.
And so, folks, one of the things you've been hearing all through our discussion so far is how you got to share content differently on the social media sites. And I'm very guilty about this. I'm very used to putting content on my blog, using articles, and doing it the same way, everywhere else. And I'm learning painfully that not only not effective, it messes you up. So, which brings us to the big bullet in blue, leveraging the new content rules on LinkedIn. Is that something that's been there a while? Is that something that starts tomorrow with this new content stuff, or what? No.
LinkedIn is really they're really going through some tough times. LinkedIn went public. They got a lot of money. They've got expectations from investors now, and they're not hitting all of those expectations. So they're trying to figure out how to become more engaging as a professional site, and they've got a long way to go here. One of the things that they announced that was supposed to happen tomorrow was they have something on LinkedIn called influencers, and they had a very, very limited number of influencers. They had less than 100. And they were going to expand that yesterday, and they were actually taking applications. And there were so many applications that came in, they've already shut the program down.
Yeah.
So are they going to continue this, and are they going to do something? Yes, they are. But it was such an overwhelming response, much greater than they expected. They're already grasping at how do we handle this. So, we'll be following that. We'll be talking about what to do. But there's also some other things that you could do if you are a content creator. Now we're on exclusively your side of the fence, that you could become a LinkedIn publisher, a little bit different than content sharing that we've talked about. And as a LinkedIn publisher, they give you some special tools. You have to apply to be part of that program. We'll talk about that program and talk to you about how you could get into that.
Okay. And so that thing that was announced about tomorrow is not going to happen? There's not going to be a new way to share your own content there?
Well, I guess they had a certain number that they were going to accept. They didn't announce that, and they hit that number literally within the first 5-10 minutes of when their blog went out, and their blog went out a week ago today.
Yeah. Okay. So perhaps they're still going to have it and do it in a different way. So let's watch for that. And either way, if I understood you correctly from a conversation we were having earlier off the air, you can share. Is this true or false? You can share an entire article if you wanted to on LinkedIn.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Complete with a call to action.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's see what we got here. So, and we've talked about this a little bit, finding the right LinkedIn groups, because my guess is, like the rest of social media, you don't join a group and go in with your marketing guns blazing, right?
No, if you do, there's something called site-wide moderation now. And if one single group now identifies you as a potential spammer, or you do something that they don't like, they will either cite you for moderation in their group, or they'll ban you from their group. Either one of those actions now causes you to be labeled as needing site-wide moderation. And so there's a whole process you have to go through. As a matter of fact, you and I talked about this. We've talked about 4 sections here. We talked about a bonus. I'm going to add another bonus in here if we decide to do this, and that will be how to deal with this site-wide moderation issue on LinkedIn. And a lot of people are struggling with that today.
Yeah, because I sent you a student that was doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's Twitter got to do with all this?
Well, because if you're, it has to do with the way that we will develop the templates for this, because ideally when you share your content on LinkedIn, you also want to share it on Twitter. But Twitter limits you to 140 characters, obviously.
Right.
So you have to think about how you've organized your content, because only the first 140 characters are going to be broadcast if you share it on your Twitter account. And ideally, whenever I do LinkedIn shares, I automatically do the Twitter share with it. Then I don't have to go to Twitter and post. It's just done. So you want to think about how those two work together.
Okay. Yeah, because it's got to be whatever you put on LinkedIn gets truncated at 140, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So yeah, as long as you know that, you could make it work perfectly. If you don't know that, you're not accomplishing what you need.
You're wasting your time. Gene's got a good question here. So when you share your own article in CTA, who does it get distributed to? So let's say I've got 1,000 connections on LinkedIn now, and I'm in a group with 500,000 people, and I've started a group that's got 100 people. Okay.
So you've got 1,000 plus 100 plus 500,000. That's what it goes to.
Okay. So
it goes to just the people that you are connected with, but they consider groups part of your connected network, even though they're not. You may not be personally connected to them.
Oh, so if I'm in a group with 20 people, and I share something just on my LinkedIn profile, it's going to go to those 20, whether they're connected to me on LinkedIn or not?
No.
Okay.
This is where we have to talk about the way you do it. You have the ability to share to your network plus all of the groups, but you have to do that in multiple shares on LinkedIn.
Okay. And so Carol's asking, can you make it go from Twitter to LinkedIn? Yeah, you can, but now would you want to?
No, making it go the opposite way from LinkedIn to Twitter works well. Making it go from Twitter to LinkedIn is a big fail. It is a waste of your time.
Why?
Well, because you can't get the engagement you're trying to get on LinkedIn with 140 characters, and you're going to have to use a URL shortener and all sorts of stuff. So you're just not going to get the power you need to get there. If you do the shortener on Twitter, people in the Twitter world are used to that. If they're interested, they'll take the extra steps. On LinkedIn, that doesn't happen.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. All right. So now this is your whole thing. This is like what you were like the expert on. So where to share your content, precise order to share it. I had no idea that order and timing was important.
Yeah, the order and timing is critically important. For example, if you want to become a highly rated and ranked influencer on LinkedIn, one of the things that you want to do is you'd like to share your absolute best content. And if you've tested it other places, might be a strategy you'd like to think about. But if you've tested it other places, what you want to do is you want to post as close as you can to midnight Pacific time or 3 a.m. Eastern time in the U.S. And the reason you do that is LinkedIn resets their rankings at Sunday night, midnight Pacific time. And so if you post as close as you can to that, your good content, it gets picked up, it gets talked about, it gets discussed more, you get higher ratings. So
and that's every night or Sunday night?
That's Sunday night. So every week it's reset. So
okay, so for you and I here on the East Coast, it would be 3 a.m. Monday morning, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So the last thing that you'd want to do is do your best post that's powerful that you'd like to get lots of rankings on, and ultimately you do on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or even really past Wednesday. Ideally, you want to make it as close as you can to the beginning of the week so that you get the highest ratings, and then LinkedIn thinks that you're more of an influencer. They start to promote some of your articles, and they're doing that now.
Okay.
So, and then there's orders that you go through and things like that.
Okay, now this has layers to this question. So let me see if I can spit this out intelligently. Places like Facebook, okay, if you actually are present at 3 a.m. Eastern or 2:50 Eastern and post that, they give more credit to that than if you had it set up in Hootsuite or IFTTT or Klout or whatever. Does it make a difference on LinkedIn whether that's an automated post or one that you did yourself?
Doesn't really make any difference on LinkedIn.
Really?
Yeah,
that's huge right there. That's huge.
Yeah. So yeah. The flip side is you just want to make it happen. Then,
yeah.
How it happened, they don't care now. We're talking about these different sites, and we just bounced from Facebook to LinkedIn real quick. But right. the thing that's critical there is when you look at the average life of a post on Facebook, it's by anybody's measurements is less than an hour, and it's probably closer to 20 to 30 minutes. Very, very short. When you look at the life of a post on LinkedIn, it tends to be about 4 to 5 days.
Really?
So things are different between these sites, and so what you do and how you do it and all of that's critically different.
Wow, that's huge. I did not know that about LinkedIn. I'm still dancing a jig about automated stuff counting as much over there because I automate a lot. But what is it? You know me. I mean, why does it last longer or have a better shelf life on LinkedIn than Facebook?
Well, it's very simple. People, the average person that is a Facebook user logs into Facebook at least 3 times a day. And the average person on Facebook has over 200 people that they're connected to. And that may sound like a low number because most of us are on here have many more than that. But that's just the average person. So, and the average person won't scroll down more than a couple of pages on their news feed, whether it's in Facebook, whether it's in our timeline, to use the Facebook terminology, news feed in LinkedIn. They just won't scroll down too far. But in LinkedIn, the average person logs into LinkedIn somewhere around twice a week. And so you've just got different things going on. And the average person on Facebook also has about 200 connections.
Okay, that makes
so
sense.
When you post it, it tends to live longer in that news feed or timeline, whichever you'd like to call it, on the social media site, because you're not logging in as frequently. People aren't posting as much. So you've got the opportunity to live longer and have more people see that post on LinkedIn than you do on Facebook.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, folks have been asking questions all along, and we encourage you to do that because we're just, giving you lots of pieces here. And as you know, what you're seeing is the outline of a course that Niall and I talked about doing, that he sent me an outline and we've tweaked and we played with. And we just, we talked about doing a more formal webinar around this, like I usually do. And that's formal is used loosely with the way I do webinars. But this is just chatting behind the scenes like we promised. So send in your questions in the Q&A while we're talking here. What the heck, Niall, is flexible content?
Flexible content is the content that, as I said, ideally what you want to do is you want to think that when you create a piece of content, LinkedIn is business, it's formal, it's not as fun. It's not the life of the party that Facebook or Twitter is. So when you're creating content, you have to think about the tone and the language that you're using for that content on the various platforms. But ideally, you'd like to share the same content on those same platforms. So what you want to do is you want to create the content that has the flexibility to be able to fit and meet the needs of these different platforms. And as long as you've got them in mind, you've got the templates for it, we could do that pretty easily.
Wow. Folks that follow me and have been with me a while, did y'all just get the enormity of that? Now I'll say that again, and y'all listen up.
Well, every one of these sites has a different language. Every one of the sites has a different demeanor. I mean, LinkedIn is not the life of a party. LinkedIn is more formal, stiff business. And I hate to say it that way, but it is. That doesn't mean that people on LinkedIn are necessarily stiff and all of that. It's just, it's more of a business environment. And in the business environment, people don't plan or expect the same level of craziness and fun. So what might work very well on Facebook may not work very well at all on LinkedIn, for example, just taking those two contrasts. So what you want to do is when you're trying to get your message across, ideally you want to be able to create content that works between the various sites. And ideally you want to be able to find that same piece of content. You want to be able to deliver the same message, but you want to be able to deliver it in the language and in the format that the forum accepts. So if you have a template that allows you to do that, and if you will flex the content that you have to fit the platform that you're going to, you're not creating new content all the time. You've got great content. You found something that's working, trending, and all of that people are going to be interested in. You're just fitting it into the format or the language of the platform that you're on.
That's just, oh my gosh, I've got like all kinds of arrows pointing out from the box with flexible content and stuff we can do. And oh my goodness, I'm getting excited. Bruce, golf buddy here. He's got 600 connections, and he belongs to the maximum number of groups in his niches. Can a post be sent to each group individually?
It can, and by the way, there's a way to do that so that you're not sending that same message. The maximum number of groups, by the way, they say it's 50. If you have your own groups, it's actually 60. There's another secret. But the flip side is if you're sending out to all of those groups and there are certain messages you may want to, there's a way that you could share that one message once and it goes to all those groups. Most people don't know about that.
Okay, cool. So that's an answer that was even bigger than his question. Cool. All right, so folks, we've been chatting close to an hour now and showing you stuff and discussing stuff. And, we're totally open in terms of whether we do this or not. We've been talking about it and we thought, well, let's bring it before my community and see. First of all right, thanks, MJ. This has been great. Okay. Well, it's not over yet, so don't say Ben. It is great. It will continue to be great, MJ, and hopefully even greater. Because you're answering part of my question. Is this making sense to you? Is this something you want to know about? Is this something you can see using? Joe saying, yeah, MJ, yeah. Awesome. Would you be interested in us taking this a step further based on what you've seen so far and creating a course for you? Yay or nay in the Q&A. I'm bold, Niall. I'm just going to ask.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Yes, because if we're just talking to ourselves and entertaining ourselves and making ourselves laugh, we do that a lot anyway. But,
yeah.
But
if we could only monetize that.
If we want to put this down and formalize it, let's make sure that it's offering value to people and they really want it.
Yeah, exactly. Carol's like, yes, use this as guinea pigs. Well, you guys know whenever I do that kind of stuff, you get a backstage pass that's going to be less of an investment than anybody will ever make in it. So let's
hey, somebody's offering us beer too. I like this. That's MJ.
Where?
There's beer offered there.
Okay, it's done. Price just went down more. I love it. Okay, so what's all this bonus stuff? Google Plus, Pinterest, Facebook, SlideShare, YouTube. Yes, YouTube.
Yeah, what we're talking about is how to take the really good content that you have, and obviously if you use some tools like Klout. If you're not familiar with Klout, you should be. Sign up and get your Klout account. It's free. But what you want to do is you want to take your content and you want to be able to share it in as many places as you can. This is about being found on the internet. It's about getting your content, your brand, your name, your message out on the internet. And so when we've got that content, then what we want to talk about, we didn't mention it. How do you do this on Google+? Pinterest is a completely different platform. How do you use Pinterest for this? Obviously, we mentioned Facebook earlier. SlideShare. We haven't talked about SlideShare at all. YouTube. And I'm saying, yes, YouTube. YouTube's videos, right? So, we're taking your content and we're sharing your content on a video site. How can we do that? Well, that's what we're going to offer in the bonus.
Awesome. And even more as we find places and use places. And here's a great question from Bruce. How will it integrate into basic template work with you, Jeff? Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're doing this, because see, here's there's all different kind of plots in stories. This is the reluctant hero story. I never in my life, the way my brain is organized, intended nor thought I would ever become known as the template guy. Okay? The original content creation templates were created back in 2005, and I've just been improving them, for all the years since then. And so because of that, people like Niall have approached me and said, let's do some LinkedIn and social media templates. Other people have approached me and let's do some Kindle templates and let's do some video templates. So I'm rapidly becoming the template guy. So yes, any templates I do, Bruce will integrate with the original ones, but they will be different, as you've heard Niall talk about the need to. Jean wants to know more about Google Plus because it confuses her. I just started on there a month ago myself, so you can do anything with it. So I get that. And I just want to take this moment to say that I am surrounded by dogs. Um, on one side is, the ever faithful Buddy the Internet dog that's been here since the beginning of all this stuff. And on the other side is Duke, the brand new 7-week-old puppy, half German Shepherd and half Siberian Husky, which is boldly chewing on one of Buddy's feet. So we'll see what happens to that. James calls me Knight Templar of the Temple of Templates. I'll take that.
That.
Yeah, me too. I got a new title. All right, NJ, just a little guy. Yeah, he's a wee guy, but he ain't gonna be wee for long. All right, so I think we got some more. No, we don't have more bonuses. But you talked about some more bonuses as we discussed a little bit before this thing started, and you mentioned some as we go. So what else are they going to get? Johnny?
Well, one of the things that has happened recently is, as I mentioned, there's this site-wide moderation, or you've been swarmed, different than swarm. But if you happen to get identified in LinkedIn and for whatever reason, doesn't matter, somebody just doesn't like the way you say things, somebody doesn't like one of your posts or whatever, and you get moderated in one of the groups, you are now moderated automatically in every single LinkedIn group you join. And what I want to do is, first off, I think that's wrong. And I don't even want to get on the soapbox on that. But what I want to do is I want to show you how you not only could get out of that site moderation problem that you have, but you could endear yourself to the moderators of the groups that you're in and you're going to join, because many of them hate this site-wide moderation as much as you do, because now they created this group so that people could share. And they can't share because now all of their groups or all of their posts go into moderation. And now as a moderator, you have to go in and automatically say, yes, this is acceptable. Yes, I approve this. Yes, I approve this. Yes. And it's a pain. So I could show you a way that your moderators for the groups that you are a member of will absolutely love you, because you'll be able to offer them a system and a process that allows them to get out of that process. And as I said, it will endear you, but ideally what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to get your site or your site-wide moderations lifted, so that you could now post into those groups that somebody may have kicked you out of one group and now everything's got to be moderated. So that is going to be a bonus that I'm going to create regardless. I saw somebody in here that said they're into one of the other things that we've talked about. Guess what? In either one of these things, you'll get it. But for what we're talking about here, I'm absolutely going to create that.
Love it, love it. So let's see what we got here. Are you about to wrap up? Have another call to jump onto? How dare you, Carol? Love what you and I are sharing. They'll have a recording. So, let them go. This is, no one's ever done this online before. You're making history, Carol. Why go over there? Okay? One of my goals in the new year is to be more bold with what I do. So there you go. All right. So, I came into this.
We're about to wrap up.
Yeah. What's that?
I said, but yes, we're about to wrap up.
After all that, yes, we are about to wrap up. All right. We're going to have fun with this, because I came into this with an open mind, but slightly leaning towards, I don't know if we're going to do this or not, because I got enough to do already. But I see the response, and well, so what, Donna, if you have to teach a class? They'll wait. They can't start without you, Think about it. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this. And I prepared 2 different sets of slides. One that, yeah, we're going to do it, and one we're not going to do it. So we're going to show you the one we're going to do it, apparently. So thanks to you guys. So we've got a really creative name so far. Jeff Banal's best LinkedIn resource ever. Okay. So underneath this headline and this subheadline, later on tonight or tomorrow morning will be the replay of this show. Okay. And you've got the add to cart button and the click here to add to cart, same stuff. There's a link to use right now, jeffherring.com/LinkedIn. Now, when this sells for regular folks, not past people, on a website or on other stuff, and when the course is done and it goes out to other people, we decided on 247, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, some people are going, oh, well, stop going, and go, yippee. As a matter of fact, give me a couple yippies in the Q&A, okay? And MJ wants to remind her to hire me for copywriting. Yeah, she likes that title. Here's one, Jeff and Now's excellent LinkedIn adventure. I like that.
I like this. I like that
Me too.
one.
That might happen. Yippee, 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 yay. Okay, so here comes your yippies, folks, because go over to that site, jeffherring.com/LinkedIn, and because you came backstage with us, $97, all this stuff, okay? And it's going to be 2.5 times that and probably more later. So jeffherring.com/LinkedIn, LinkedIn. Yeah, Joe, it's going to be there. Dean's already in. Way to go, Dean. Jumped on it as soon as I saw it. Yeah, each module, Lori, will be, the way we do things, each module will be taught in a webinar. And then there'll be other stuff in there as well, bonuses and assorted other stuff. And speaking of which now.
I'm laughing because this is a commercial. I love it. Michael says, I think it should be 5 cents.
I love it. I love it. Why is that a commercial?
Oh, you haven't seen the Peanuts gang? That's I think it's Nationwide. It's one of the insurance companies, and they're talking about how much the insurance should be, and it comes back and all of the Peanuts gang says, I think it should be 5 cents.
Oh, okay. I love it. Yeah.
It.
5 cents advice, right?
That's right. I love it.
There is lots of wisdom in Peanuts. I love that. Joe saying it's MetLife. Dean wants the various assorted other stuff. Oh, come on, Carol. We're giving you a $247 course for $97. She wants to be $47. No. Okay. Come on, you got to be reasonable here. Plus, this is 2 people that are doing this. So welcome aboard to Dean Renfro. We're going to have to honor him in some way because he's the first one that came on board. Even before we even said that stuff, he just saw that link and went to it. So boom. So awesome. Will there be opportunity for us to submit info for review? I don't know. What do you what do you think? No, that might be beyond the scope.
Well, it might be. I don't know how we could control it to just the people on this call. Personally, I'd love to see that because I learned so much from the people that are in my group coaching, in my mastermind and all of that. I'd love to look at it. So, I'm game to say yes.
Well, that can't be for everybody. Let's add another bonus because no, Vicky, we're not doing 57. I ain't going below 97. Okay, but we will add these bonuses. Okay, one will be a strategy session where you guys can get on the phone with one of us. Okay, and okay, Carol, thank you for negotiating with me. For those of you that come on board now, okay, because we reward fast action takers, we'll do a bonus Q&A session.
I like that.
Yeah, me too. James, no, the latest content conversion templates, creation templates won't be part of this. Some of those will be reworked into this, but you can get that at profitablecontentcreation.com. Lori, maybe a private Facebook group for us to share ideas.
I like that, Lori. In fact, we got to. That's worth a special bonus for Lori.
Okay, so Facebook group. I got to remember everything we're promising here. Facebook
hey, you know what? I'm going to tell Lori something. Lori, you have to get Lori to contact me somehow because you're in control of this tonight. Lori, and hey, everybody else could hear this because Lori, that's great. I am going to give you 1 year of membership into my LinkedIn group coaching. That's a $347 value. I love it, Lori. Thank you.
Awesome. And here's a suggestion, a LinkedIn group. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Lori says, yippee. Thank you. That's the word of the night, yippee. Now, Carol's been negotiating hard, and she did give us our name, the most excellent LinkedIn adventure.
Okay,
So
let me ask this: Is Carol into our, or I should say mine? I'll give this bonus out. Is Carol into my why your LinkedIn profile sucks and what you absolutely have to do about it?
that's a question to you, Carol.
That's
No,
a you have to answer that, Carol.
she's not there.
Yeah, she bailed out of that.
No,
Not
no, no.
there
She's
yet.
here. She's
Not
saying she's not in that course.
okay. Well, guess what? You know what I'm going to do for Carol? I'm going to put her in that course for free.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. That sounds good. Well,
So,
awesome. Congrats to all the people that are coming on board. Folks, well, all right, Niall, part of the discussion here, okay?
okay.
Because I know this is how people think, and it's almost an unanswerable, okay? Now, you and I are going to do other preview webinars about that, about this, and it's going to be part of my rotation of online visibility at 247. It'll probably be like 3 payments of 97. So did you catch that, folks? Okay. Other people will be paying 3 payments of $97. You're being invited to pay 1. Okay. And where was I going with all that? Crap. I went down.
I don't know.
Back now. Where was I going?
Well, I don't know how many people that maybe on this one were on the one that you and I did on why my LinkedIn profile sucks.
Yeah.
The price on that just went. We left that run, and I think we left it open until Monday at like $47. You know, whatever it was, $48.50. It was 50% off of $97. And we said that it was going to go away, and it was only for that limited time. But and I have to tell my guy this if we want to do that. Hey, Jeff, you know, we're just spitballing here. Do we want to offer that to the people that are on this course for another 24 hours?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I'm just trying to help you.
You want to be that nice to these people? Yeah,
hey,
of course. Do it.
Okay,
yeah,
well, I'll tell my tech guy right now.
Okay, Joe's going to love it because he says his profile really, really sucks. All right, so
okay.
He needs a special bonus about why your profile really, really sucks. Congratulations to Chris Hilbert, I'm sorry, who is on board. I love it when my phone rings. And then, it's going to be, Joe, don't worry about that. We got it covered. We're gonna keep this open until Saturday or Sunday, one or the other. James is offering to do hypnosis for me for my memory problem. What memory problem? I forgot about that. Ian calls this a great process of introducing an idea and product. It certainly creates invested interest. Well, yeah, and that's why we thought we'd do it because we don't know that it's ever been done before.
Hey, I'm gonna also have to give you, and you'll know who was on here. You've got all the emails.
Yeah.
I'll give you the discount code for that other course because we already expired it. So.
Okay.
We've got to create the discount code again.
Okay. So cool, folks. Here's another one coming in. Whoever's behind compwellness.org, welcome aboard. See, now you're starting to flood the phone here, and it's going ka-ching, and I love that sound. And I'll turn it on so you guys can hear it. That's fine, Vicky. Okay, Lewis will take care of you. Okay, so Lori's asking, how many classes will there be? When will they be? And that's something we're going to discuss right now. We've got 4 modules listed out now. So we've at least got 4 trainings. Probably a Q&A would be a 5th. Or we could do Q&A after each module or both. Let's talk about when we're going to do this now that we're going to do this.
Well, that's going to be the next thing. That's sort of the next behind the scenes.
My cannot do times are now 7 on Tuesday because I've got an ongoing thing with this. 4 on Thursday, I do my training for my mentorship program. So Dorothy and the rest of y'all, don't worry about that. What are some you can't do's?
I can't typically do. Well, if we do it at this time. I'm pretty good except on Monday nights.
Okay. All right. So welcome aboard, Carol. Awesome. Yay. See, Carol. I knew we'd get her. Welcome aboard, Gene. I love it. I love it. I love it. So not Monday nights, okay? Not Tuesday nights. Wednesday night I could do later. Well, every other Wednesday night I could do early, and then late. The other every other I could do later. Let's see. What about Thursdays? How are Thursdays for you?
Thursdays will normally work. I've got some conflicts. We'll just have to work around those. But yeah, that works.
Okay, so Thursday, if we're going to talk evening, then I've got my training at 4 for my mentor group. That can go anywhere between to 4 or 5 or 5:30. Carol says now rocks. Lynn says yes to Thursday. Joe says no, not Thursday. See, whatever time that we come up with, folks, know this, okay? It will be recorded. And Tracy is in the background recording this right now. Say hi to everyone, Trace, on the Q&A. And so it will be recorded and available either before our heads hit the pillow that night or the next morning. So, whatever we do, it is more fun live, but, we got to do what we got to do. Will the training be available for later study? Yeah, Leroy. The way we do things is that it's available for as long as there's the internet, which from what I can see so far, it's no longer a fad. So
I think it'll be there. Hey, yeah. By the way, for the people that go back to the why your LinkedIn profile sucks, you've got it up to share somewhere, but Content King 50 is back active, and I'll keep it active until the end of the month.
Content King 50, okay. Yeah, everything will be, you can download it, Lori, so you can listen to it other places like I do. Bruce is in but can't seem to log in and pay. You having trouble with PayPal? Tracy, somebody to follow up with, and I will too. All right, so and you're pretty much booked during the day right now, aren't you now?
Yeah, and unfortunately the court gets sometimes unpredictable with my schedule. I do expert witnessing. I'm a subject matter expert, so that gets weird.
Okay, so you can't do Monday nights. We're really kind of down to Thursday night because I don't particularly want to do this on the weekend. So Thursday night.
And the only thing to tell you is I've got a conflict on the 13th, and I'm also in Las Vegas at a conference, so we can't do the 13th
of March.
Of March, yeah, we'd probably have to start
20th.
We'd probably have to start on the 20th.
Well, that's 2 weeks. No, that's 3 weeks. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that makes sense. And for those of you that have joined us already, what we'll do. And there's a lot that we've done tonight, folks, that you ought to go watch the replay just to watch how we did it. Because where is this set? A little bit over here. We've got 2 computers open, so it's like, which thing do I need to work on? This is a great process. I read that already. Anyway, that was somewhere. What we're doing here is useful, okay? And James, I need that hypnosis session. Let's see. Thursdays. Yeah, it's going to be recorded. So 6, 7, or 8. No. Oh, I know. Okay. We're giving it 3 weeks from the time we're announcing this to to the time we start. And what we'll do with everybody that's come on board, just like, let's see, who's this person that's just come on board? We're going to congratulate, and we're going to say congratulations to Leroy Pemberton. All right, way to go, Leroy. And everybody else too. We will be sending you stuff between now and launch. We will be helping you in advance. You'll have videos and other kind of stuff. Those are called stick strategies, okay? Here's just a bonus tip for the whole course. While we're doing this, not only learn what we're teaching, but learn from what we're doing, okay? So Niall, 6, 7, or 8?
It doesn't matter to me. I'm good for all of those.
Okay. It's going to stay lighter, longer. Let's go for 6 because that'll give me enough time after my 4 o'clock training and get us done. in the evening. And remember, folks, this is 4 or 5 weeks. Okay, so it's not like you're committing your life to it. 6 p.m. Eastern, yeah, Carol. Now, with my lifestyle, when I sign up for a course, and I sign up for lots. I mean, I'm always wanting to learn and learn and learn and learn. My boys say that they end up learning stuff just because I have this stuff playing in the background a lot. I very rarely do it live. I'm usually catching it when I can. So, you know, and I learn and implement it. So can you. March 20th, right? 3:20.
Right.
6 p.m.
3:20.
We launched this thing. In between now and then, you'll be getting lots of good stuff, including later tonight or tomorrow morning, the page at jeffherring.com/LinkedIn with the video that we're creating right now. And Tracy will get together. So, Jeff and Al's best LinkedIn resource ever may change to Jeff and Al's great or best, whatever it is, LinkedIn adventure, excellent LinkedIn adventure. One of us is going to have to talk like those guys, though. So there we go. Cool.
Bill and Ted, I know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's too loud on the webinar, so let me turn that off. Carol says just say "dude" a lot. Dude. All right. So anything else we haven't covered, Niall? Tracy says.
No, I mean, I think what we wanted to know was we wanted to know if people found interest, and it looks like they did. So. Yeah.
And so, I mean, you guys are getting an incredible deal here. You're getting not one person, 2 people. Okay, and it's Reese's peanut butter cup here, folks. Social media, LinkedIn world, content creation world coming together to make both better. I like the way I said that right off the top of my head.
There you go.
Yeah, and so Lynn, we've decided on 6 p.m. What do you mean you don't do well when you can't be there live? What does that mean?
Just say "dude" a lot. Okay, dude.
Well, yeah, really. Reese's peanut butter cups, my favorite. Lori, I'll tell you what. It's amazing I'm not diabetic because I survived graduate school on 3 things. Okay, endless 2 liters of Mountain Dew, and 1 bowl that was always filled with Hershey's Kisses, and 1 bowl that was always filled with Reese's Pieces. So it's amazing I'm not diabetic and that I'm slim. So anyway, Lori's saying yum. All right, so folks, the link, jeffherring.com/LinkedIn. And thank you for, doing something new with us. This was an experiment. Lynn likes the interaction. Yeah, I get that, Lynn. Here's a workaround, though, that I do for my students, and I also do when I take courses. I make sure that I send in questions before the modules, okay? So I can get questions answered during the Q&A, even when I'm not there. And now you've seen me do this. There's rarely a course I've taken that I don't wind up knowing the person, and that's not because I'm a known name. That's because I reach out and see where places I can help. Actually, the first time I ever got on stage at an event talking about what I do was from helping a guy that was promoting a seminar. I had no intention of being on stage. I just saw I could help the guy, but he put me on stage. And so you can get the interaction without being there live is what I'm trying to say. But it may not be a good fit for you, and that's okay. For those of you that it's a great fit, jeffherring.com/LinkedIn. I'm going to put up a timer for 15 minutes, and those that come on board, okay, during the next 15, and those that are already on board, who will begin to grin now, because I am making this bonus up as I go along, and as I'm saying these exact words, I don't know what it is. So I'm talking like this, which is called tap dancing, so I can give part of my brain time to think up another cool bonus, which would be, Tracy's going, oh my God, which will be longer time on the phone with one of us in your strategy session. Okay? So, little bonus time there. How did I do, Tracy? Did I pass? Tracy was getting scared. Tracy's my team leader. Oh my God, what's he going to promise? Whew, she says, because she's got to set it up, deliver it. She was thinking, what course is he going to give him? Oh my God. So, you've already had too tough a week, Tracy. We're not going to do that to you. All right. One more time. jeffherring.com/LinkedIn. Any final words, Niall?
Somebody had asked about the why your LinkedIn profile sucks URL, and I don't recall what it is. I'm going to ask my tech guy unless you know what it is.
No, I don't.
Yeah, let me ask him real quick. Maybe he'll know.
Okay. You going to do that right now?
Yeah, I'm going to do it while we're here.
Yeah. Okay. So, folks, just to clarify, we're doing this right now. Those of you that are listening live, it's 8:24 on Tuesday night, 2/25/14. This is going to start on Thursday, March 20th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay. We're going to do 4 content modules and some Q&A. Tracy, there's Bruce giving you his email to get him hooked up. And so we're going to do 4 content modules. We're going to do a Q&A. You get the bonus of Niall's, your LinkedIn profile sucks and what to do about it. You're going to get strategy sessions with one of us to take a look at what you're doing and make it better. And what else? We're going to create a Facebook group, maybe a LinkedIn group. That would kind of make sense to do a LinkedIn group since it's all mostly LinkedIn. Okay, I am going to do one more bonus. Okay, for those of you here, let me see if I can pull this off. All right.
What? Hey, while you're doing that, I'll give you tap dancing time. How's that?
You'll do what?
I'm going to give you tap dancing time. I'm going to give you some thinking time.
Okay, thank you.
Because the URL that we've got for the people that were on your call is a long URL. Now you made it nice and short and sweet in your URL shortener that they could look at. But I am going to give you straight to the shopping cart, not to the sales page. The URL that they could go to. They're going to have to write this down. It's a long one.
Or put it in the chat, too. Put it in the chat.
I'll put it in the chat. That's what I'll do.
Do both.
Because it's a long one, so good.
Okay, go ahead and put it in the chat, and I'm going to announce this extra bonus.
Okay, go ahead.
So 2 things are happening right now, okay? And yeah, Vicki, we'll do a LinkedIn group. Niall's going to put the link to the thing before in the chat, so look for that. Now, this is my Facebook page, okay? And you'll notice it's a lot different than any of mine before. I took them all down at the beginning and started over. And you'll also notice that it's a lot different than most people's, okay? Because what it's got set up, welcome aboard, Lori, is sections or what do they call it down here at the bottom? Come on, Jeff. Yeah, they're called sections. I was right. So there. By sections, content creation tips, visibility tips, blah, 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 blah. Traffic generation tips, got to build this out, got to build that out. You can even do entire webinars on here. And then I've got a group of testimonials. This is probably my favorite. Carla McNeil waited to come to a NAMS workshop where I was speaking to submit her 200th article. So we could both press the submit button at the same time. We did a video about it. Anyway, this is a great way to get traffic from your LinkedIn videos, and notice many of them are very small. For everybody that's already come on board and everybody that comes on board, before we wrap this up, because we reward fast action, I will create a video for you and get it to you on how to set this up, okay? Both on how to set up the sections, the strategy behind it, the psychology behind it, the buttons to push, and also why the vast majority of these videos are only 3 slides, okay? And the first slide is the one you're looking at, okay? And yet they just pull. So is that a good bonus, yay or nay, in the Q&A? Tell me if that's a good bonus. I think it's a good bonus. Yes, says Vicky. Yes, says Carol. Awesome bonus video sections on YouTube. Yeah. Okay, good. Good. And my new hypnosis guru, James, is saying, yeah. Okay, good.
Hey, and
right.
Jeff, for whatever reason, it's not letting me type in the questions. Don't ask me why, but I just sent you an email.
I just got that.
You could copy
that
the
is a
URL
long one, isn't it?
and put it in.
Okay, Tracy says she can do it. Tracy, I'm copying it right now. I'm going to see if I can paste it. Sometimes that works with GoToWebinar. Sometimes it does not. Let's try it out. Here, I'll click on it. That is a long booger.
Yeah, you did a URL shortener, and you made it nice.
Yeah, there it is. Boom. Yeah, there it is. Lori, if we wait long enough, will you offer to write our LinkedIn post for us as another bonus? Yeah, and I'll say on all the ones, I'll say Lori asked all these really weird questions on webinars. Never let her on yours. Okay. So I hope you're laughing, Lori. That was totally teasing because I know you're teasing too. So there. iPad users can't see our link. Well, okay. We'll figure out some other way around. And I hope you're laughing, Lori. All right, so that's the bonus there. Facebook, no, back over here. Okay, we need to wrap this show up.
Yeah, we do. We're going for a while here. And
Lori's laughing. She's a bit punchy tonight. It's been a long day. Tell me about it. What is this link? That's for 87.97. Vicky says that link you just gave now.
The bonus that I gave you earlier, that discount code, which is Content King 50.
Oh yeah.
They'll type in that discount code as well, and it's case sensitive. It's capital C, ONTENT, all one word, King, capital KING, and then 50, and that will get them the 50% discount.
Okay, and now. Here's a word of warning. If anyone asks for any more bonuses, we're going to start taking them away.
Yeah, they're not. We've sweetened this pot to where it's almost too sweet to drink.
Yeah, it's saccharin. So, okay. We need to wrap this up. jeffherring.com/LinkedIn. Niall, this was fun, bud.
It was. It was. Great
and
time
I'm really
tonight.
glad that we finally did this. So, this is going to be, all right, we've been babbling, so I'm going to take this back up, just to be cool, back up to another 15 that you have to get on board and get all these extra bonuses, okay? So, with that, thank you, Niall, and thank you, folks, for joining us and investing your valuable time, which is your greatest asset. We'll both be doing things between now and March. You'll be getting a lot of follow-up supportive stuff, and we'll see you on March 20th. Niall, any final words?
Nope. I think that we've slayed this dragon about as well as we can tonight. And I know that I'm ready to eat and see the family, and you're probably ready to handle the dogs.
Before they handle me. All right. So appreciate you guys. Go use this stuff. Go get it at jeffherring.com/LinkedIn. That link on the screen that will be up for another 14 minutes and 16 seconds. And go use this stuff, and we'll catch you soon. Good night.